up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with another TierZoo reaction. That is right, last week we watched TierZoo for the very first time, and we watched, I think it was called like Are Humans OP? So I wanted to continue with the trend of TierZoo talking about humans, and we're gonna react to how humans broke the game. Now, I am addicted to TierZoo. Just after one video, I see what you guys have hyped up. It's amazing. I love how everything's compared to this like game atmosphere, and it's quite addictive. So I'm beyond hyped to continue on this TierZoo journey, and we're gonna check this out. But before we do, make sure you show TierZoo some love by subscribing to their channel. And if you enjoyed my reactions, smash that subscribe button because it greatly helps. But enough talking. Let's get to reacting and roll that bomb ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Woo, woo. Oh, let's get our learn on chat. Play.
This video was made in partnership with CuriosityStream.
So loud. So loud. No. No? I mean, I guess unless if there's like a heart right there, which he was probably aiming for. Oh, sevens to that, Hunter. Yeah, that's gonna start hurting. That's gonna start hurting. See, they didn't use strategy back then. You stab and step back. Stab and step back. Cause if they move, you're screwed, bro. And then you get tossed like a little rag doll. And no one likes to be tossed like a rag doll. We all know that. Oh, jeez, to the face! Did that go through the eye? Correction. Strategist for taking down rhinos out there, go through the eye. Into the brain. Through the eye. Good job with your spears, gentlemen. Good job with your spears.
Humans are the current #1 build in the meta, but they
one,
haven't
baby!
always reigned supreme.
Oh, one! Now, with ChatGPT coming out and AI on the rise, is artificial intelligence gonna be #1? Terminator? Anyone? Skynet? I don't know. Let's get back to this. You don't want to hear me ramble.
In fact, at first they were one of the least powerful builds in the meta, and it took several buffs, refinements, and tweaks before the human became even remotely threatening within its home server of Africa. So today, we're going to break down all the different variations of the human build throughout the history of Outside,
I love how this is all compared to a game
traits,
chat.
stats, and abilities, with the hope of demonstrating why some of these skill tree choices worked, while others couldn't compete. The first players to unlock
And then gunpowder happened, and everything changed.
the human class were a group of African primate mains that switched from the knuckle-walking quadrupedal build to a bipedal one. It's important to note that at this point, they hadn't sacrificed their arboreal mobility perks yet.
So this brings up a great question, chat. Is this channel allowed to be watched in church? Do religious... If you're religious, can you watch TierZoo? Because obviously he's talking about evolution right here. And church does not like science or evolution. So I'm just bringing up a question. I'm feeling feisty today, chat. I don't know why. I'm sorry if I offend anyone. I'm just reacting to a video. I'm not trying to offend anybody. No, I'm not.
Heavily on their ability to climb to escape danger. The top tiers at the time were all large terrestrial mammal builds far too strong for Australopithecus to challenge them, so their only option was to avoid them. It might seem counterintuitive to switch to a bipedal build when your playstyle is centered around the arboreal zone, but the reason this was so crucial was because it freed up their hands to be able to carry items back to their tree. This was the first step towards refining the cooperative, loot-sharing playstyle that have made humans so dominant in the current meta. Now, you might be surprised to learn that the devs have nerfed humans in the past.
Whoa, excuse you? Excuse you? We're still ranked #1, so that means we're not nerfed. Thank you very much.
The tree dwelling strategy was seen as a cheap way to avoid dealing with other players, and so the devs decided to reduce the number and size of trees in the Africa server. This forced humans to ditch their arboreal strategy and spec into ground-based abilities. And for a while, humans got absolutely bodied by other players. even with the ability to use items and create tools. The other builds in the region, like saber-tooths and giant hyenas, were far too strong for humans to deal with. They had to rely solely on the thieving skill to get by, but this disadvantage was slightly mitigated by their newfound ability to crack
So barbecue has been around for a very long time, apparently.
bone using tools, letting them scavenge for marrow after big cats had finished with the kill. Once humanity had scraped together enough evolution points by scavenging, they finally got to level up some of their stats and give themselves the ability to survive by hunting rather than scavenging.
Yeah,
They
look
spec
at us
into longer
being
legs and less body hair,
hunters!
allowing them to finally unlock one of the human's most powerful signature abilities, sweating. Sweating allows the player to recharge their stamina even while...
Dude, so this is something that I learned during the first time we watched TierZoo. Like, I didn't realize how big of a difference sweating and not sweating is. It essentially lets us cool down and keep going, whereas, you know, animals that can't sweat, like, yeah, they may have a higher top speed, but they ain't winning the marathon. No, they're not.
Moving, whereas other builds are forced to stop and use the pant ability to recharge stamina. They could justify putting all of their evolution points into mobility rather than power, because by this point they'd also leveled up their crafting enough to make spears, the staple best in slot two-handed weapon until the invention of gunpowder.
Too bad you couldn't sweat.
A sustainable source of meat is worth a lot more XP than fruit or scavenged marrow. So much so that this let humans finally start leveling up their intelligence to a truly staggering level, promoting both cooperation and innovation. But once again, nerfs were on the way. Just before the Ice Age balance patch hit, a faction of the human player base migrated servers, establishing themselves in the Europe server. Most of the others stayed in Africa. The Ice Age
war's coming in the nearest future.
Patch hit, and it led to two very different changes in the two servers that the humans were playing on. In Europe, as you probably expect, the overall temperature dropped and ice damage became a threat. The humans, as well as most of the other top players there, spec'd into bulkier builds that could survive the cold better. In short, the update didn't really affect them too badly. This group became known as the Neanderthal faction. The humans that remained in Africa, now known as the Sapiens faction, faced a much worse update. Ironically, during the Ice Age, Africa got hotter and drier. The large herbivores humans had such a good matchup against all left, and the human player base in Africa was reduced to the brink of extinction, with player counts...
Thank God that did not happen. I mean, I wouldn't be here to be giving you this bomb-ass reaction had we got wiped out. No, sorry, I wouldn't be!
Below 10,000. They survived by leveling up their fishing skill, scavenging for shellfish and other low XP sources, as they too made their escape from Africa. When they finally escaped Africa, they were finally back in a server that they could thrive in, but they had competition. Neanderthals had the highest stats of any human build in history. They had bigger brains, more girthy bodies, stronger muscles, just undeniably a more viable build compared to Sapiens. So by this point I'm guessing you're wondering, well, if Neanderthals were more powerful, why is it that eventually the Neanderthals lost the faction war to the Sapiens? It turns out that their physical superiority was actually their downfall. Neanderthals and Sapiens had a very different hunting strategy when it comes to taking down large herbivores. Neanderthals had the strength to defeat them with melee combat, and had the defense and HP to be able to take a hit or two, even from some of the Ice Age's strongest herbivore builds. They were also fast enough to be able to close the distance between themselves and their targets. This all sounds awesome, but there's one key detail in this plan that you might have noticed. Since Neanderthals were fit enough to take on these herbivores face to face, they didn't have to invent ranged weapons. Sapiens, on the other hand, would get one shot if they tried to take on behemoths like mammoths or woolly rhinos in close combat. Thankfully, even though their brains weren't as big as Neanderthals, it was still more than enough for them to be able to use the aforementioned crafting skill to create the first ranged weapon, the atlatl. Atlatls are a relatively simple yet effective item that allows the user to launch spears over twice as far. This was critical for the survival of Sapiens, as it allowed them to match the DPS of the Neanderthal, but also stay out of range of a potentially devastating counter.
Whoa, I've never seen that before, bro. How'd that thing even work? And why would it let you launch a spear twice as long? I don't understand the mechanics of that spear throwing thing, a sister.
Counterattack. Sapiens also tended to have bigger party sizes. Neanderthals were less social and tended to stick to small, tight-knit groups, while Sapiens formed much larger communities that could control much larger territories. Eventually, even though Neanderthals were the better fighters, they were the ones failing to find enough XP to survive.
However,
and this is where their physical
greedy,
might became a huge
and
detriment.
we want more land.
The bigger you are, the more energy you need to survive. And so the Neanderthals' strong, powerful bodies eventually became unsustainable. Most of them were defeated in combat or starved, although a few did end up actually switching factions and joining with the Sapiens.
Yeah!
But finally, after defeating their most dangerous opponent, humans were free to dominate the game as the new top tiers.
And then
They
we
mastered
battle
several
ourselves.
key advanced techniques such as agriculture, archery, and sailing, allowing them to push the meta far past what other builds ever thought possible. You'd think that they would all work together to rule the game, but unfortunately many of them ended up engaging in PvP with each other. It kinda makes sense given
World
that
War
other players
PvP.
are hardly even a challenge, but nonetheless, infighting is their
Yeah, dude, them snails, bro. Them snails are just... Wait, what's this? Is that like a cheetah? Why is a cheetah down there with the snail? A cheetah is worse than a starfish?
their biggest weakness right now. Anyways, hopefully that gives you a better background on the history of the game's most overpowered build. Oh, by the way, I bet many of you noticed the incredible footage of ancient hominids that I used in this video. This footage is from a brand new documentary called Out of the Cradle, which was animated by Square Enix, the masterminds behind the Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest video games.
Yeah, this is some good
It's
animations.
available right now on CuriosityStream, a streaming service that has over 2,400 titles, including many of my personal...
Boom! Dang, bro, that is what's up. Let me bring you in, Sasuke. I don't know what that was, dude. I don't know if I was like waving or if I was just like throwing my hands in the air like I just don't care. I don't know, but dude, I love when I stutter like I did right there, but I also love when we're able to get our learn on doing a reaction. And what I'm quickly realizing is that TierZoo definitely has some very good educational points that we get to learn some facts about life in general. I mean, obviously right now we've done 2 reactions, both on humans. So I'm really excited. So again, you guys have made a lot of requests on different ones to react to. I think the next one we do is either gonna be the bird tier list or the fish tier list. I think those sound pretty dope. But there's so many, dude. The dinosaur tier list, snake tier list, or scorpions OP, the lizard tier list. Bruh, there's so many good. Anyways, I'm having so much fun reacting to this because again, I just love the whole theme behind it, how everything's just relatable to a game. And it's kind of scary though, because yeah, there's always something new. So I think AI is the new OP. Let me know if you agree. But thank you so much for making it this far. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, or regardless of whether or not you enjoyed my reaction, make sure you show TierZoo some love by subscribing to their channel and liking the original video. And if you enjoyed my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free, and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind of one another. And that's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Got enough but love for the Sauce Gang. Peace out, guys. I love you.